what I've found over the years is that there's so much testimony happening from the survivors about their experiences during the war and in the camps, and very little discussion about life, what life was like once they were liberated. Generally, they talk about their experience before the war, and then they say, then we went to Israel, or we went to the United States. And they're missing that 1 to 5 years or more experience. And I think it's because the Holocaust experience for them is so powerful, and that their next step in life was their new life in a new land. And they don't talk about that period of time. So I felt it was important for us to look at that because, from my point of view, it represents the start of new life. It's the start of families. Matter of fact, my father told me that when he was liberated from the train, when the Americans came, American captain came up to him and said, and saw that there was all these thin, skinny people, ill people, and went up to my father and said, forget about all the horrible things you experienced. You need to start a new life. You need to start a family, have children, and begin again. And I felt this was the period that all of these Holocaust survivors did start new lives. Matter of fact, the hotel that we stayed in was the hospital where I was born, and I heard it was packed full of babies during that time.
I would say it was touching, just in terms of being able to see the history firsthand and experience that, and be with the people who were born there, and to see them getting some of the memories and finding the places where they had walked around as a kid was very touching, and it was a great experience to have.
My most impactful experience during the visit was in Bad Reichenhall, where our team interviewed the colonel at the facility. And he was nice enough to set up our visit and our tour. And he started talking about his own experience. He has family also that, like grandparents, that would not want to talk about what happened during the war. And I saw that as a reflection of the German families and the Jewish families there. During that time, they didn't want to talk about the experience. But with this gentleman, he was fighting in Bosnia. And when he was in Bosnia, he saw where neighbors were killing neighbors. They were just killing their neighbors. And that kind of struck him as something unbelievable that he'd never thought about, how cruel people could be. And then he made it his purpose to go back and talk to his grandparents about their experience and what their involvement was, because he felt the history was important. And I found that astonishing and wonderful, which means, we all can work together to understand this history so it'll never happen again.